In this issue of Nintendo Power, we'll take a look at some of my favorite Super Nintendo games, including Megaman X, TMNT Tournament Fighters, and Claymates. Let's take a closer look at Nintendo Power Volume 56. Nintendo Power magazine had an impressive run from 1988 through 2012. The magazine featured awesome artwork and many great games. Join me as I revisit these issues and highlight the content inside in Nintendo Power Recharged. Nintendo Power Volume 56 was published in January of 1994. This volume has a gray outer cover with an embossed Nintendo Power logo and an image of Mega Man. The inside cover features an action shot of Mega Man and reveals some of the featured games discussed in the issue. The first game covered in detail is an absolute classic on the Super Nintendo, Mega Man X. This is one of my all-time favorites on the system, and I've played through the game countless times growing up. Mega Man X is an action platforming game from Capcom, and a spin-off to the series on the NES. The game is a huge upgrade to the 8-bit installments, both graphically and in the immersive gameplay. There are many memorable stages and bosses in the game, with unique weapons to obtain. You also have the ability to upgrade your health and suit in a variety of ways. One of my favorite abilities in the game allows you to jump inside of a mech and destroy enemies and obstacles in your path. The game has a lot of content to offer and is a ton of fun. The poster in this issue advertises Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, a Super Nintendo game in the Looney Tunes universe developed by Sunsoft. The next game featured in this volume is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. This is a fighting game similar to Street Fighter, but featuring characters in the Ninja Turtles franchise. Konami released 3 slightly different versions of Tournament Fighters for the NES, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. Each game has a different cast of characters, and it's nice to see some variation between each version. This article shows some very cool artwork of the Turtles and other characters in the game. It also details gameplay strategy and offers a full move list for each character. A special feature in this issue includes a few Magic Eye pictures, which are very nostalgic for the time period. I remember having a Magic Eye book growing up that I used to look through all the time. The images included here are shots of Mario, Luigi, and I think Star Fox, but I'm not entirely sure. Another childhood favorite of mine is Claymates on the Super Nintendo. Claymates is an action platforming game developed by Interplay. The game uses clay animation style graphics which look great on the system. Throughout each stage you have the ability to transform into different animal characters, each with different movement speed and abilities. The mouse, for example, has the ability to move extremely fast. With this impressive speed, the game advertises having Blaze processing in rebuttal to the Sega Genesis and its Blast processing system. You'll have to compare the two for yourself, but I think the Super Nintendo wins here. A nice addition to this issue is a hand-drawn comic titled Mario vs. Wario. On Princess Toadstool's birthday, Mario and Wario are competing to get her the perfect gift, a Samus doll. After a series of tricks and fighting, it turns out that Luigi was victorious in obtaining the gift in the end. The artwork in this comic is really well done, and the comic is a fun read. A late release on the NES, the next game highlighted in this issue is Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. The game was developed by Capcom and is a direct sequel to the original. Chip 'n Dale 2 is a 2-player side-scrolling platform game with gameplay very similar to the first installment. It offers colorful graphics and a variety of fun stages as you try to stop Fat Cat from wreaking havoc on the city. This segment gives detailed level layouts and is filled with awesome artwork of the leading cast. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2 is a fun game and a solid follow-up on the NES. A special segment in this issue teases us with an inside look of some of the Nintendo titles that were only released in Japan. This article showcases a barcode battle game using a peripheral that attaches to the Game Boy. It also highlights some classic RPGs, including Fire Emblem, Dragon Warrior 5, and some of the exclusive Final Fantasy titles. Last but not least, the section taunts us with the NES game Mother that was never released in the US. Another feature on the Ninja Turtles, the next section talks about Turtles 3 The Radical Rescue on the Game Boy. This game adapts the platforming gameplay of its predecessors and incorporates exploration elements similar to Metroid. Each turtle has distinct abilities that are needed to access different areas and progress through the game. The game is detailed and immersive for a Game Boy title, and an upgrade from the first 2 installments. As a late Game Boy release, the game is pretty uncommon, but a very cool game to have in your collection. Attached in the back of this issue are 6 Power Challenge trading cards, with various cards included in the different issues around this time. This set of cards features Shadowrun, Clay Fighters, and Link's Awakening, with different game challenges listed on the back of the cards. The last section previews some upcoming games for the year, including Super Metroid. This segment showcases some cool concept art from the game and describes how it's being tailored for a North American audience, as the original was not nearly as popular in Japan. This issue had a ton of great content and included a lot of my favorite games. Let me know in the comments below if you have any favorite issues that you'd like me to take a closer look at. That's all for this episode of Nintendo Power Recharged. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my first episode of Nintendo Power Recharged featuring Volume 1. I have a few other series on my channel, including this series spotlight on Mario Golf, taking a look at the entire game franchise. As always, thank you for watching.